All right, let's get right into it. We're going to explore what a lot of people are calling the next great frontier for artificial intelligence, the leap from just knowing words to actually truly seeing the world. You know, the philosopher Wittgenstein said this, and it just perfectly captures where AI is at today. Language has made AI unbelievably smart, but it's also kind of built a box around it. And that's the big question we're digging into. What really happens when an AI can understand not just the word ball, but the actual physics of how a ball bounces? To really get where we're going, first we need to look at the massive and, frankly, kind of shocking blind spot in the AI systems we all use every single day. I mean, the power of large language models is just undeniable. They're these brilliant wordsmiths, right? They can handle complex logic and show creativity that feels almost human. But here's the catch. For all of that brilliance, that very same AI can't tell you how far apart two objects are in a photo. It can write an entire movie script, but it can't mentally rotate a simple cube. It's a genius stuck in the dark. AI pioneer Dr. Fei-Fei Li. People often call her the Godmother of AI. She just put it perfectly with this quote. The AI has basically read every book in the library, but it's never once stepped outside to see the world it's describing. So this is where Dr. Li is focusing all her energy now with her new company, World Labs. The solution they're chasing isn't about feeding AI more text. Nope. It's about an entirely new kind of understanding, spatial intelligence. So what is that exactly? Well, at its core, spatial intelligence is that intuitive physical understanding that we all just have. You can almost think of it as our own built-in physics engine. You know when a friend tosses you your keys, you don't calculate trajectories or wind resistance, you just catch them. That instinctive grasp of space, objects in motion, yep, that's spatial intelligence. So how in the world do you teach a machine that kind of intuition? Well, you don't give it a bigger dictionary, you give it a world to learn from. You build what's called a world model. This really shows a fundamental shift in thinking. A large language model, an LLM, it's trained on text to predict the next word. A large world model, or an LWM, is totally different. It's trained on all kinds of data, images, videos, actions, to predict what happens next in the physical world. This all breaks down into three key abilities. First, it has to be generative, meaning it can create virtual worlds that actually obey the laws of physics. Second, it's multimodal, so it's processing visual stuff and actions, not just words. And finally, it's interactive. It can predict what will happen if you do something inside that world. And this leads to a pretty wild idea. What if the best way to build this intelligence isn't to just pour in more data, but to teach the AI to learn the way we do? You know, like a child. Research in this area really drives this home. We don't learn from spreadsheets. We learn by actually interacting with the world. We build our understanding through sensory experience. So instead of just memorizing statistical patterns from some static data set, this new approach says AI needs to actively build its own knowledge through trial and error, just like a toddler trying to figure out how to stack blocks. This whole thing is actually inspired by the work of the psychologist Jean Piaget. The idea is to guide an AI through similar stages of cognitive development, from basic sensory stuff to symbolic thinking to logic and finally to abstract thought. It's about real learning, not just processing. Now, this all sounds pretty incredible in theory, but it's already starting to move from the research lab into the real world. So let's look at what this technology can actually do. And first things first, this is not some small academic project. Dr. Li's company, World Labs, has raised over $230 million from major investors. That signals a huge bet that spatial intelligence really is the future of AI. And they're already shipping a product. It's called Marble, and it lets artists, designers, and filmmakers generate entire explorable 3D worlds just from simple text prompts, or images, or even videos. This is just a brilliant first step from imagination to creation. But it goes way beyond creative tools. The ability to simulate physics and intelligent environments, that's a total game changer for robotics. This means we could have robots that can truly understand and navigate their surroundings, not just follow a pre-programmed script. So looking ahead, the applications are just immense. We're talking about smarter robots that can understand their environment. We're talking about advanced scientific simulations that could model things like how a new drug interacts with cells in 3D. And of course, entirely new frontiers for creativity and design. So ultimately, it all comes down to this. The path we've been on has created an AI that's an incredible conversationalist, one that can talk about the world. But this new path, the one focused on spatial intelligence, it's trying to build an AI that actually understands it. So the real question is, which future are we building?